What's up, Jet fans? We have finally seen fourth round pick quarterback from Clemson, Cade Klubnik, play, and in today's video, I want to talk about it and how we got here. The media noise around Klubnik has been really weird, and I want to start this video off by saying none of it is his fault. He's a Jets quarterback, and I hope that he works out here or wherever his career takes him, just like how I root for Gino, Sam, and yes, even Zach, no matter what team they play for.
You sure about that?
As long as it's not the Patriots. I'm going to assume the media circus around this fourth round kid, who has basically done nothing yet, is just the nature of a desperate New York market, but still, it's weird to see. For those of you who are not in the know, we drafted Cade Klubnik in the fourth round, and when you are drafting a quarterback on day 3, you are basically hoping that player could develop into a good backup and maybe many years down the road possibly start a few games in a pinch. A higher end day 3 pick, as Klubnik is, the expectation sort of changes from hoping he develops into a backup into assuming he develops into a backup or even fringe starter. However, when we drafted Klubnik, it was seen as a bit of a reach, with many draft analysts rating other quarterbacks higher than Klubnik who were still on the board and wouldn't get drafted until later rounds. To summarize, I think a large portion of the fan base who were paying attention to day 3 of the draft were mixed to negative on this pick. He was a 4-year starter in college, which is something I preach about when looking at quarterback prospects, but his last year at Clemson was extremely disappointing, and while there was a lot of problems with their team, the quarterback is always going to be tied to a team's win-loss record, especially in college, where a star at a big impact position like quarterback should be able to carry his team. Anecdotally, talking to and hearing from Clemson fans, they were not super high on their former quarterback. This is all kind of beyond the point I want to make though. Do I know if Cade Klubnik is going to work out in the NFL or with the Jets? No. I have no idea. I hope he does, but I certainly cannot confidently state he is going to be good. However, ever since he walked in the Jets facilities, the local Jets media has been hyping him up like crazy, acting as if he was a top prospect who was going to save the franchise. That would be exciting if he was putting up good throws during mini camp or training camp, but that's not actually what happened with the hype. Like literally, as soon as he walked into the Jets facilities, reporters have said things like, he just looks like a leader, or when he walks in a room, people look up.
Clean cut, good face.
Yeah, good jaw.
Or other nonsense like that. And that's not fringe reporters, but some of the most listened to Jets reporters and media personalities out there. I mean, like seriously, this sounds like stuff people would say about Tom Brady because they couldn't point to his physical talents. And we are talking about a kid drafted in the 4th round who still hasn't taken a real snap yet. Part of this might come from Klubnik knowing how to deal with the media, as he came from a school where football is extremely important, something that I see as a positive, but still. Now let me be clear, I totally understand looking for any positivity with this team. In fact, one of the reasons I started this channel was to be more positive about the Jets. I know about grasping onto anything remotely positive. Quincy Enunwa is one of my favorite players, and I won't allow any slander on his name. But come on, guys. Geno Smith is our starting quarterback. He is the veteran leader in the room. He is our quarterback. When we get to week 15 or 16 with nothing to play for, sure, let's see what Klubnik can do, assuming our offensive line won't get him killed. When it comes to the preseason football, definitely, let's give Klubnik the majority of snaps so he can get some sort of experience. But I just want to calm down the media hype around this guy. Let this kid settle in and learn how to run a professional offense before we start acting like he's going to be our franchise guy for the next decade plus. I don't mean to rain on everyone's parade, and I want to reiterate, I am rooting for him. But the noise around him has ranged from being too presumptuous to being honestly problematic. With all that said, there actually was some football played this Friday, and I paid close attention to Klubnik, as I'm sure many Jets fans did. With Geno out with a foot injury, Klubnik was actually the starter for the first preseason game of the year against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This let him play a drive with the starters that ended in a field goal. To my point, before there was a single offensive snap for the Jets, the announcers talked about Klubnik's poise and composure.
Clean cut, good face.
Yeah, good job.
And I have to ask, what is that based off of? Every college player who goes to the NFL is going to be a star and a leader in college, especially every quarterback, no matter if they win in the first round or the 7th. So, what was the point of saying that glaze? But, actually, that has been the noise with Klubnik this entire offseason as soon as he entered the Jets facility, and it makes no sense to me. He does nothing, and the announcers hype him up. It's ridiculous. For the actual football, Klubnik went 4 for 6 for 51 yards in the first drive. There were some good throws, but I actually think a lot of that was on Garrett Wilson. Once again, I'm not trying to be a hater, but from what I saw, they were not the most accurate throws, just good catches. But hey, at the end of the day, he made the throws, and it was his reading of the play to get it to Garrett where only Garrett could get it. There was also a miscommunication on what seemed like a draw play with Breece Hall, which was really ugly. To be fair to Cade, though, it is impossible to know from just watching the play if that was on Klubnik messing up or Breece. Either way, for a first drive, that play was really ugly, but first drive plays are typically scripted and heavily practiced. So if anything, that speaks more on Frank Reich than Cade Klubnik, so I can't give him too much hate for that. But either way, once we got to the red zone, this is where our drive puttered out. Cade Klubnik threw an inaccurate pass to Garrett in the end zone on a 3rd down, and so we kicked a field goal. On the second drive, Cade basically did not have to throw the ball once, as we had a monster run for a touchdown with a lot of backups on the field. And then that was his night over. Cade finished the game with 56 yards as Bailey Zappi came in, who then had an ugly start to his performance, but this video is not about that. This video is also not about pooping on Cade Klubnik. I hate to keep on repeating myself, but I want to reiterate that I really do want to see him succeed and will always root for him. It's just the way the media has been treating him that has really bugged me. He had an average performance for a rookie 4th rounder in a preseason quarter, not even a preseason game. There were some highlights and lots of room for improvement, which is exactly what you should expect from a day 3 rookie quarterback. Cade Klubnik has not done anything wrong, but he has also not done anything special. Mostly due to the fact he hasn't had the opportunity to do anything special, and that's okay. The media just needs to calm down and stop acting like Cade Klubnik is the second coming of Tom Brady, because the secret is what made Tom Brady special to so many people is that no one knew Tom Brady was Tom Brady until we broke Drew Bledsoe's leg. Well, anyways, let me know what you guys think about Cade Klubnik down in the comments below. Like I said, I think he had a average preseason game. Nothing amazing, nothing to be scared about though. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye.
Going dog.